19. Old messages. The memory is full. Please erase your messages. Message 1.
Okay, here is testing message number 1. This is on the bass. And of course we have the fake microphone, which actually is not even anywhere near where it's labeled. It's labeled on the side, and in fact it's in towards the middle. So right now the unit is sitting on the carpet, and as has been traditional, I will test it on the wood as well. It has been moved onto the wood. Now it's not on the bottom of the phone, it's kind of on the side towards the bottom of the unit. So I'm not sure if this is making a whole lot of difference or not. Regardless, I just put it back on the carpet, and I'm going to start moving away from the phone now. Right now I'm about a foot away from the unit, speaking right over the top of it, and I'm going to start moving backwards. Now with about 2 feet, 3 feet, 4 feet away. I'm still getting further as time goes on. It sounds like something just fell over there. I'm about 5 feet away, 6 feet away, 7 feet away, 8, 9, and 10, 11. Now I'm all the way across the room. So, okay, so that's that. Now I'm going to put the phone onto the piece of wood. And I'm going to move all the way across the room again and see if that makes any difference as far as how the audio is picked up from the distance. I am now all the way across the room. This is with the telephone on the piece of wood. Okay, that will conclude the bass speakerphones test.
Message 2.
Oh, Goose, this is the handset number 1 on talk. I'm going to exit the studio now and traverse across the room to make sure the distance is okay. I'm sure that it probably is, but sometimes you never know. Okay, I'm as far away as I can get, so if the reception was still clear then it's working correctly. I'm going to switch it to the speakerphone now. Okay, it's on the speakerphone now, and I'm trying to speak at approximately the same distance and volume that I was before so that we have an accurate comparison of the pickup on talk versus speakerphone. All right, now I will set it down on the table. It's falling over. So let's see if I can get this to sit. Okay, it's staying. So I'm talking right over it now, about a foot away from the microphone, and I'm going to start moving back now. The testing answering machine is still recording, so as of now, I suspect it's still picking up just fine. At the moment, I'm about 3 feet away from the phone, 4 feet away from the telephone, 5 feet away from the telephone, 6 feet away from the telephone, 7 feet away from the telephone, 8 feet away from the telephone, 9 feet away from the telephone, 10 feet away from the telephone, and finally, the 11 feet away from the telephone, which of course is all the way across the room. And the testing engine machine is still the recording, so the pickup must be good.
Message 3.
This is the second handset on speakerphone and on regular phone. This time I'll hang up with the buttons.
Message 4.
Handset 3, speakerphone. Handset 3, talk, or phone as they call it on these. Handset 4, talk, or phone. Handset 4, speaker, over and out.
Message 5.
This is a test. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Did you hear that goose honking last night? Over and out.
Message 6.
The message is now being recorded. The goose, the honk, the 1, the 2, the 3, the testing, the over and out. The wind noise.
Message 7.
This is the testing message from the Con Air Freak Show series phone. Over and out. the first testing message with the Radio Shack 900 megahertz loud and clear telephone. It sounds like there's quite a bit of side tone to this phone, which I distinctly remember not being the case with the Uniden branded model. So perhaps there is some differences to this telephone more than I thought. I am hearing a slight hum in the background, kind of like an AC 60 hertz hum, which is most likely a function of the AC adapter. So perhaps the AC adapter is spoiling. I am traversing across the room now. I am almost all the way on the other side of the room, and I did hear a couple of bits of static here and there, but otherwise it is coming in clearly. So that will conclude the testing message. I'm going to hang up this call using the talk button, and then I'll record a second message and hang up into the base so you can hear what that sounds like. I'm also going to change the channel. I'm going to change the channel right now. Okay, the channel was just changed. I'm going to change it one more time. Okay, and now I am going to hang up with the talk button. Geese honk, skunk stink, over and out.
Message 10.
This message is to show, or rather to audibilize, or whatever the heck the word is, what the phone sounds like when you hang up into the base.
Message 11.
This is a test of the Uniden loud and clear corded trimline telephone. While I am a long-running, long-time fan of Uniden products, I can't say that I'm particularly impressed with this telephone. It's perfectly good, but for the loud and clear branding being present, it doesn't seem like it's all that much louder than an AT&T 210 trimline, because the ring volume is nothing impressive at all. There's a lot of AT&T 210 trimline phones from the 90s that ring much, much louder than this does. And the handset volume, while it's certainly loud, the AT&T 210 goes quite loud as well. So I'm not sure that this one is really all that much louder than an AT&T 210. But nonetheless, I am glad I have this phone in my collection because it is one that I've wanted for quite some time. Over and out.
Message 12.
Oh, goose. This is a testing message from the VTech CS6124. Okay, now I will start exiting the studio here and move across the room to make sure that the range is what it should be. And I would expect that it works perfectly clearly all the way across the room. I'm all the way across the room, so if it's still clear, then it is the working. Okay, and the battery is still indicating that it is low, which I don't quite understand because I don't believe that the battery is not charged. Okay, and I'm going to hang up into the base, and then I'm going to call back for a second time and hang up with the buttons.
Message 13.
This time I will hang up using the button.
Message 14.
Wow, I really like this phone. It has quite a bit of side tone to it, which I've noticed is the case with the plain Digitan models, the 900 megahertz ones, not the Digitan spread spectrum, not the Anatan, but the straight Digitan ones I've noticed do seem to have a lot of side tone. Okay, I've left the studio and I'm moving across the room. Right now I am about as far away as I can go, so we'll see if it's still getting a good signal or not. I suspect it probably is. Okay, I'm going to move back into the studio now, and I'm really liking this phone. It sounds really good. and it seems like it picks up really good. The only thing that I don't like about the unit in 900 megahertz Xanatam models, so a lot of them don't have the greatest pickup, but this one, on the other hand, seems to have a very good pickup. Okay, I'm going to hang up with the button this time, and then I'll call back again and hang up by putting it into the base.
Message 15.
This time I'm going to hang up into the base. In fact, before I do that, I'm going to change the channel so we can hear what that sounds like. Okay, the channel has just changed. I'll change it a few more times. Okay, the channel was changed a number of times. Now I'm going to hang up into the base.
Message 16.
This is the Digitan speakerphone test. I'm speaking right over the telephone at a moderate volume, and I'm going to start moving back from the telephone now. I'm about 2 feet away from the telephone, 3 feet away from the telephone, 4 feet away from the telephone, 5 feet away from the telephone, 6 feet away from the telephone, 7 feet away from the telephone, 8 feet away from the telephone, 9 feet away from the telephone. I'm about all the way across the room from the telephone. So if it was picking up all the way back there, then it does in fact have a good pickup.
Message 17.
I know these are good quality phones, but I can't believe that this telephone still works given the condition it was in and the location of finding. Okay, I just exited the studio, and I'm going to traverse across the room. And one of the very few downfalls with these phones is that the range tends to be kind of limited depending on the environment. So right now I'm all the way across the room. It's probably clipping out a little bit. I'll return back to the studio now. I can't tell if it's getting a good signal or not because it's Digitan. If it was Xanatan, I'd be able to tell, but it's not. It's the Digitan. Okay, I'm back in the studio now. I just closed the studio door, and I'm going to hang up the telephone now.
Message 18.
Oh, Goose, this is the test on speakerphone. So right now I'm speaking at about the same volume and distance as I was on the previous video, or on the previous message. Now I'm going to put the phone onto the table. Okay, the phone is on the table now, and I'm going to start moving away from the telephone. There will probably be a lot of background noise in this message because there's a lot of background noise in this room. Right now I'm about 2 feet away from the telephone, 3 feet away from the telephone, 4 feet away from the telephone. Looks like it's still recording 5, 6, 7 feet. I suspect it's probably still working pretty much fine at this distance. I'm going to keep going back now. 8 feet, 9 feet, 10 feet, and here's 11 feet, which is all the way across the room. And I suspect it was still picking up all the way back there, perhaps just a little bit more quietly. And I'm not going to hang up into the base because the battery cover's not on, so it won't sound like what it normally would anyways.
Message 19.
Okay, this is the base speakerphone, which I do believe is, the microphone is on the top as it claims it is. The wind noise. Speaking too close to it. So let's see here. I'm not going to use the wood in this case because it wouldn't make any difference because the microphone is on the top. Now, I have found that the speakerphones on these bases are absolutely phenomenal. I used to use a True 885 at work, and the base speakerphone was awesome. It was one of the best speakerphones I've ever used. So I'm going to start moving away from the handset now, or from the base now, and again with the handset, as with the handset.
End of messages.